What's up, guys? Today we will be comparing the Note 10 Plus to the POCO F3. So if you're in the market for a new smartphone, you could go the old flagship route. Let me wipe down on this. You could go the old flagship route, or you could go with a kind of newer mid-ranger. It's not that new, came out last year, but it's still, I think, one of the best mid-rangers you can get these days. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into it. I want to start off with the hardware. So there are some differences with the hardware. So on the Note 10 Plus, it is a full premium design, so it's got a glass and metal design, and it's IP68 dust and water resistant as well too. And I think it still looks really nice, really modern, even in 2022. The POCO F3 does look really great as well too. I love the camera module setup on here as well, and I love the glass back. It does have that nice texture to it, soft texture to it. It doesn't pick fingerprints as well too, which is really nice. But the POCO F3 does not have metal railings. This is actually plastic, so only the glass. You get that premium material for the back, but it still has that kind of plastic feeling. It still feels really good though, but the Note 10 Plus I think still has that more premium feeling. Another difference with the hardware is definitely the built-in stylus on the Note. So if you're somebody that is into digital artwork, or you like to navigate with your phone using a stylus, this is really great for you. Yeah, it's just a great experience. So definitely keep that into consideration. Samsung throws in a ton of software features as well too for you to take advantage of. Both these phones have stereo speakers, which we will compare as well too. So for hardware, I think they're both two pretty good looking phones. But like I said, the POCO, it does not have that that premium feel as far as the railings and the IP53 dust and splash proof. It's not IP68. So that is also one thing to take into consideration. Alright, so the display matchup is a pretty interesting one. So we have two fantastic displays here. So with the POCO, we do have on here a AMOLED display. It's 120 Hertz. It's HDR10. It gets 1300 nits peak brightness at 6.67 inches. It's 1080p 395 for the PPI. The Note 10 Plus, it has a dynamic AMOLED display. It's HDR10 Plus at 6.8 inches. But this phone has a 1440p display and 498 for the PPI. So it has a much higher PPI and a higher resolution as well too. So you can watch 2K content on the Note. So obviously the thing here is that, do you want the 120 Hertz display, or do you want the 1440p display on the Note? So that's something that you kind of have to see. As far as me, I really like the 120 Hertz, but I really like the design on the Note 10 Plus as well too. I do like the curved screen as opposed to the flat screen, and also the POCO has a little bit more bezel as well too, if you guys can see that. So I just think that Note screen just looks really good, but like I said, that 120 Hertz is just buttery smooth on the POCO. So it really comes down to that. Do you want that 1440p, or do you want the 120 Hertz? But they're both really great displays either way. You could really say it was a tie, but it just comes down to personal preference. Alright, so let's talk about the specs a little bit more here. On the POCO, we do have the Snapdragon 870 processor on here, running Android 11 MIUI 12.5. And then we also have Adreno 650 GPU. The POCO does not have any SD card support. This is the 256 8GB model here. And on the Note, we are running Android 12, and we do have One UI 4.1 on this phone as well too. And then it has the Snapdragon 855 on here and Adreno 640. But the Note 10 Plus does have SD card support as well, and it actually has more RAM. So this is a 256 12GB version, so that is the base storage actually as well too. So as you can see, the POCO will beat out the Note as far as these Geekbench scores go. For sure here, it just has the stronger, as you can see, chipset. Now as far as how do these devices feel just bouncing in and out of applications and stuff like that, they both feel really great, really fast phones, honestly. So you can't really say that the Note 10 Plus is slow by any means, because it's really not at all actually. You guys can see, get into a quick little boot up test here, a little app launch test. You can see, boom, So it's really like right behind it. But one thing I like to pay attention to when we talk about speed, I like to make sure that the devices are not like, I'm not getting animation stutters and stuff like that. And both of these devices seem to do a pretty good job with just bouncing in and out of applications, being able to give you a smooth experience without like lagging all over the place and getting animation stutters and stuff like that like crazy. So they both are very fast for that. And also both these phones make for an excellent gaming experience as well too. So definitely take that into consideration. So if you do want to buy one of these phones, yes, the POCO is the more powerful phone. So for games that are super demanding like that Genshin Impact game, yeah, it might do better than the Note in the long term. But as far as like right now, they both pretty much play at the same settings for the most part. They can both play at high settings for most games. So you guys can see in PUBG, both these phones are able to play at HDR Extreme, basically the same settings, and they both do a really good job as far as, you know, being able to play games. I will drop a full gaming test for the POCO, but it's pretty much the same for the Note as well too. You can see it just does a fantastic job at gaming. It's also able to play at the same settings, so you really can't go wrong as far as a gaming phone with both of these phones. Alright, let's check out some additional features, starting with the stereo speakers on here. Let's see which one sounds better. Yeah, the Note definitely sounds better. It's louder and a little bit more crisp. Yeah, the POCO doesn't hit as hard as the Note. It definitely has just better bass. This is an overall better speaker. You can kind of notice it right off the bat here. Also, let's go ahead and talk about the additional features. So both these phones have NFC. The POCO does have a IR blaster, which I think is very underrated. A lot of people don't care about it, but I like it to use it as a universal remote for like all the TVs in my house and stuff like that. I think it's a really nice addition, so you don't have to have, you know, a ton of remotes. You lose remotes all the time, batteries run out. It's really nice to have an IR blaster, something that the Note does lack here. Also, as far as getting into the phone, they both have pretty solid methods. I think I like the POCO's method a little bit more. I've always been a fan of the fingerprint scanner and the power button. It just feels more natural and it feels a little bit more instant. Also, under the display fingerprint sensor works great on the Galaxy Note. So they both work really well, so really no complaints there. You can always do face unlock as well too. Alright, so I do want to talk about the image quality on both of these phones. We are going to check out some side-by-side stills. So let me know, which camera do you guys think looked better? So the specs on the POCO, it does have a triple camera setup, and it does have a 48 megapixel standard, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and then a 5 megapixel macro. It can only shoot in 4K 30 though, and then you have a 20 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 1080p 60. The Galaxy Note, it does have technically a quad camera setup. It's a 12 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel telephoto, 2x optical, and then a 16 megapixel ultra wide, and then you have a 0.3 depth sensor on this phone as well too. You can shoot in 4K 60 on the front and back with a 10 megapixel selfie. So let me know what you guys thought of the images. The POCO. Nope. All right, so lastly, the battery situation. Which phone has better battery life? They actually are both kind of on par with battery life. So the Note, it does have a smaller, slightly smaller battery. It's a 4,300 milliamp battery. It does have 45 watt fast charging as well too, as opposed to the 33 watt. In here, and this phone does have wireless charging and reverse wireless charging, which the POCO lacks both of those features. So the POCO does have a slightly bigger battery at 4,520 milliamps, but I'm assuming because of the 120 hertz, if you leave it on, it drains about the same. Maybe if you put it at 60 hertz, it'll get better battery life than the Note. But right now, you can both squeeze a full day out of these phones pretty easy. All right, so yeah, I think the battery situation is just better on the Note. It charges faster, and you have wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. So I definitely prefer that experience over the, just not having it. All right, so which phone did you guys think was better here? Would you prefer the older flagship with the Note? I know that the Note, it's currently in its security patch stages. It won't get Android 13. This will get Android 13, and then I think it'll get like 3 years of security patches. The Note, it'll get those 3 years, and then that's it. You have a lot going on. You have the stylus. You have the really nice display on the Note. Still a pretty fast chip, good, cameras. But the POCO also has a lot of those things too. Great battery life, 120 hertz, really nice screen on here. Really, really strong chipset on here as well. So let me know. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.